Hey guys, Harry Thomas here, and man, it is such a scorching summer's day here in the UK. It's even warmer here than it was in Croatia. It's as if we're in Africa or something. It's as if the weather forecasted that it would be Lion King month on my channel in July 2019. It's high time I ranked from best to worst the 6 movies in the Lion King franchise. I can't wait to hear your ranking in the comment section below. So without further ado, if you want to know my personal ranking of the Lion King movies from my favourite to least favourite, then just keep watching. At number 6, at the very bottom, as you all predicted, my least favourite installment in the Lion King franchise is the recent shitty and unnecessary Lion King remake, which I titled The Lesser King, and justifiably so. This remake didn't do the original any justice at all. The CGI is terrible, emotionless, soulless, lifeless. The expressions on the CGI'd animals are dead. So you don't care what the fuck happens to the characters in this version of The Lion King. And it's impossible not to judge this remake without comparing it to the original, because it's literally a copy of the original, so there's nothing to spoil. It's the most predictable remake I've ever seen, period. And I feel sorry for the new generation that will have grown up with this instead of the original. The original is the version they should be shown, not this shit. And you know how they changed the Mufasa's ghost scene? Simba just chats with normal clouds. Mufasa's ghost isn't even fucking there. What the fuck? So you just fucking butchered one of the most important scenes in the movie. And also, in the moment when Nala reunites with Simba after chasing Pumbaa, she immediately recognises him. In the original, it made more sense because Nala, she was confused when Simba knew her name, and it took her time for her to realise it was Simba. But in the remake, she just recognises him because this shitty script needs her to. And the dialogue between Simba and Scar in the final fight is over the top. You can't win, Scar. This is my kingdom, my destiny. Oh, I'm like, I've heard nobody is liking this remake. Everybody I've seen on YouTube is just ranting the shit about this remake, and I don't blame them. Nobody wanted a Lion King remake, and I have made more rant videos about this remake than any other movie in history. It was literally, when I did my extreme epic rant, I just exploded and was like, this is the funeral of Disney. Disney is practically dead. This remake is completely shit. Unless Mickey Mouse changes his mind about remaking everything, I don't know any other company that has gone this far with remakes of classics, and unless Frozen 2 is awesome, fingers crossed, then I don't have a good relationship with Disney right now. This is the worst Jon Favreau movie, and the worst movie of all time. At number 5, the pilot TV movie which kickstarts the Lion King spin-off TV show, The Lion Guard Return of the Roar. And I have to say, I am loving The Lion Guard show far more than I thought I would, and I'm a 23-year-old man, even if I like the Timon and Pumbaa TV show just slightly better. But of the 2 Lion Guard movies, Lion Guard Return of the Roar is the weakest. At least it does have a it does have a terrific new backstory for Scar, which added even more to his motivation to want to be king. It turns out Scar was born with the gift of the Roar, and he was once the leader of the Lion Guard before Kion, and that's made him think he should be king of the Pride Lands instead of Mufasa, and I adore the Lion Guard themselves, and I've grown to love these characters more and more over the course of the show, and see them grow from Fully the cheetah to Ono the Burza to Bonga the honey badger, and yeah, I love that message that anybody can be friends. You know, a lion can be friends with different species, and the Lion Guard doesn't have to be 100% lion. And Tifa and Zuri, they are so sweet, and one of them gets her claw stuck in a tree log, and it's ever so kind of Timon and Pumbaa to help her out of it. I love how Kiara and Kion's friends are treated by Pride Rock as family. Although it does suck that the majority of the original voice actors don't reprise their roles for this show, except for Ernie Isabella as Pumbaa, and they changed Kiara's character. You know, Kiara had no interest in being a queen in Lion King 2, but in this movie she's like she just can't wait to be queen. And Jonja, the hyena leader, unlike Shenzi, Banzai and Ed from the original Lion King, they were interesting villains, but Jonja, he is a cliched kids TV show villain. And their villain song, Tonight We Strike, sounds stupid, especially with the hyenas going but at least the Lion Guard theme so the Lion Guard soundtrack is not without its merits. At number 4, the superior of the Lion Guard movies, The Rise of Scar. The Return of the Roar just felt more like a simplistic TV movie plot, so that didn't have that oomph to it. Rise of Scar does at least have some extra oomph to it, and goes darker to appeal to the older fandom of The Lion King as well as the younger. And Rise of Scar, right off the bat, I thought bringing Scar back to life was the freaking greatest idea the show ever had. Finally, they are getting heightening the stakes. Ushari the Cobra, a fantastically sinister villain, far better than Jonja and his hyena pack. In fact, that's one of my flaws with Rise of Scar. Why would the hyenas assist in the resurrection of Scar after Scar flat out betrayed them in the original Lion King? Did they forget or something? I would rather Ushari just resurrect Scar himself. Ushari is literally Scar's Nagini, you know, bringing back Scar in spirit form. It's similar to bringing back Voldemort, but it's not a total rip-off, and although it is a shame that Kiara is treated like the damsel in distress, you know, for Kion and the Lion Guard to rescue her. I would have rathered she got herself out of there. As I love that this show still it still addresses the mature themes of the original Lion King about, you know, the lions of the past, and Makini, Rafiki's new apprentice. So she's adorable, and it is great that Rafiki is teaching the future generation of shaman that will come after him, and yeah, when Scar appears in the final moments of this movie, I was geeking the heck out. I was like, holy shit, he is back. But yeah, it does. If only he was in more of the movie. And I do wish Jeremy Irons had reprised his role as Scar. David O'Leaf sounds nothing like Jeremy Irons, but he's still a better Scar than Chitwell Ejiofor was, but why has Disney never asked Jeremy Irons to return? Oh well. And I absolutely love the song Let's Bring Back a Legend. Now that is a 1,000 times better villain song than Tonight We Strike. At number 3, in my minority opinion, the weakest of the original Lion King trilogy, but still decent. Like the other direct-to-video Lion King sequel, this one is kind of underrated, and it is more cinematic worthy than people give it credit for. Heck, it's far more worthy of a cinematic release than other animated movies that have had cinematic releases in the 2010s. The Emoji Movie, for example. I mean, and this is one of the Disney sequels where Disney at least put some effort into, and it felt like a justified continuation of the original film, still keeping the exact same mature tone of the original, especially with dramatic scenes like Kovu rescuing Kiara from the fire, and Simba's nightmare about the day of Mufasa's murder, and the ambush. And I absolutely adore Kiara. She is courageous and such a sweetheart as a protagonist, and she helps her father Simba, who did go through trauma with what happened to him in the first movie. She helps him move on, and she helps Simba unite the prides together in peace, and Kovu is also, he is one tragic character who Simba initially hates just because Kovu was Scar's chosen one, even though Scar wasn't Kovu's biological father, but you feel so bad for Kovu. He doesn't want any part in overthrowing Simba, as Zira has brought him up to. He only wants to be with Kiara, and he only wants the prize to be at peace as she does, making this the Romeo and Juliet of the Lion King. And Zira, she is just as firm in her rule as her husband Scar. She is so bloodthirsty for revenge on Simba. One thing I don't get, how come nobody told her that it was the hyenas that killed Scar and not Simba? And she would have changed her mind about killing Simba. And of her cubs, I like Vitani far better than Nuka. If only she had more screen time, because Vitani, she is the first to stand up to Zira in the final battle and say, Kiara's right, and enough of this war. But Nuka, oh, he is the Jar Jar Binks of the Lion King, and though it was intense and hard hitting when he is killed off in the ambush scene. Though I do think this movie should have had a better quality animation, and it could have been more original, and not reference the original Lion King so much. Inupendi sucked. That was the worst, most pointless scene in the entire movie, but other than that, He Lives in You, We Are One, my favourite song in the movie, That's My Lullaby, Not One of Us, and Love Will Find a Way are all likeable, even if they're not on par with the godlike soundtrack of the original movie, and maybe give Nala more screen time and develop Kiara's relationship with her mother, because Kiara was a full-on daddy's girl in Lion King 2. Nala sadly was extremely sidelined. So at number 2, for me, the most underrated installment of this franchise, The Lion King 1.5, or The Lion King 3 Hakuna Matata, as it's known here in the UK, but I like the US title better. So yeah, this movie gets far more hated on than it deserves. I don't know why people don't like it. I mean, sure, sure, it's a tonal shift from the first two Lion King movies being a little more light-hearted, because Timon and Pumbaa are not supporting characters anymore. They are the protagonists of this movie. But that's but that is what's is awesome about this movie. It developed Timon and Pumbaa. It improves upon them as characters by showing us how they met and how they were in every single moment in the original Lion King, but we had no idea. It's and I just adored and related to the cinema scenes when Timon and Pumbaa are watching the movie from a huge cinema screen. I mean, that is their reactions were literally ours, the reactions of general moviegoers, and Timon and Pumbaa's relationship in this movie, it is wonderfully heartfelt, and I even got super teary-eyed when Timon was like, "Pumbaa, you're the only friend I ever had, and friends stick together till the end." That scene made me cry more than any moment in Lion King 2 did. And Timon's mother, voiced by Julie Kavner, Marge Simpson herself, as she is absolutely terrific. And if there's one thing this movie nailed, it is the beautiful bond with Timon and his mum, which also appealed to me, as I am that closer with my mum, and I personally don't mind the inclusion of a toilet humour and fart jokes when this movie is parodying the original Lion King. It's harmless. I mean, at least it's not offensive to the original movie like the remake is. The moment when Pumbaa farts and his fart gas just knocks some of the animals at the Circle of Life scene unconscious. Now that's just had me that just had me laughing uncontrollably, and Digga Tunna. Now that song is a underrated classic in the Lion King series. Quick before the hyena comes. Shenzi, Banzai, and Ed return as main antagonists this time. So I applaud this movie from making just side characters in the first Lion King leads this time to expand them, and this movie, it's different from Lion King 2. It wasn't rehashing anything. It may not be epic like the original Lion King, but I can barely think of any negatives to say. And the number one best Lion King movie is the original animated Lion King from 1994, and the proper Lion King, which has what the remake will never have: magic and pure charm and epicness, this movie is lightning in a freaking bottle. Whenever you mention perfectionism and mention movies, then and put them together, you have Lion King. It has the greatest coming of age hero, showing how when we mature as we go from a childhood to adulthood, how it's is not afraid to show kids themes of death and grieving and moving on, and themes of the ones we love are still with us spiritually and guide us as we go on, and themes of responsibility and looking after your family, and it is the most breathtaking looking animated movie, by far the most epic animated movie ever made, period, with the most timeless score and songs have ever composed for a movie. No other movie soundtrack can even come close to the Lion King's, and it has the most. It has the most timeless villain ever in the form of Scar, and it has the most magnificent movie opening, the most electrifying movie finale. It's the one movie that simply has it all, and I will show this movie to my future child, and I will forever watch it for the rest of my life. 25 years later, The Lion King is still the king. So that was my ranking of the Lion King movies. Well, I love you guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this ranking. And what's your ranking of the Lion King movies? Please comment and let me know. Please like the video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. And I'll see you next time when I do my ranking of the Disney live-action remakes, as well as my Lion King 1994 versus Lion King 2019 versus video. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.